say when there are no words. Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging dare? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Cannonball. Hey, now cannonball. 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 Cannonball.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing iRacing GTE League, season number 5, round number 6, here at the Twin Ring Motegi circuit. My name is King-Kodiak, and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box, always happy to say, keeping me on the straight and narrow, is the wonderful StevieSQ.
Hello, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here again for the GTE League. Brilliant racing series that we have on our iRacing League. Always super competitive and super interesting, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they're going to tackle this. Relatively unused, but really fascinating race.
Oh, it's a tad toasty out there at 37 degrees on the track. So, time management might be a bit of a thing for them to deal with. 5 kilometres in length, 14 turns for our drivers to have to deal with. Before we have a look at where the qualifying standings currently sit, they have just under 11 minutes remaining of their qualifying sessions. Let's have a look at our championship standings, starting with our AM category. Very close at the top with Jake Towns, who is absent this evening. We have a few of our key drivers unfortunately not with us at the beginning of this particular session, so that's made this championship particularly interesting. So Jake Towns leads the way, but in very short order is Ruth Miller, Cam K, Domino, and not too far behind is Cooper. A little bit of a gap to Mr. Van Eyck. Then the Brenneman, Bedford, Smith, Washington, Potter, Sardo Christensen, Bell, and the new joiner Parkinson. With our Pro-Am category, a little bit of a gap up top for Sarah Dove, who's, I think did she take the lead in that category last round?
Yep, she did. When Canute had, which I can tell you now from having her back, a few drivers suffered a few some small glitches in the pit lane that made them change a tyre in the pit lane.
Yes.
Which cost Canute 6 or 7 seconds in the pit stops, which was all Sarah needed.
Indeed. So she leads Alexander Godefroy. Knut in third, but very, very close for Knut. Unfortunately, not with us this evening either. Then Hoppe, Sluman, Krut, Gaillard, De Bruychek, Imre, Suominen, Foku, Gibbons of Blackwood, and Westgarth. Now looking at our pro category, that's not quite so close, but there's still lots of battling going on. Still lots of positions to decide in the second half of this season. Irunom really is commanding that particular category. Then it is Klima, Shepard, Sasulski, Gaidemeyer, Dressler, Holstein, Thielen, Lundgren, Wallström, Marinsky, Alanda, Reed, Hitchcock, Williams, and Williamson rounding out our top 15. Apologies for the coughing. I have had this cough for quite a while and it's irritating as hell. I will do my best not to bark down the microphone at you lovely, lovely spectators. Right, Irunom once again at the top of the standings in the Bushfink 178 Ferrari. Then it is a Joris Thielen, who is then in the Porsche for the Bushfink Racing Red. Once again, Team Bushfink getting a pretty decent representation this evening. We were a little bit concerned when we looked at the practice times because Irunom was 7.5 tenths, if not more, ahead of the rest. That isn't the case at the moment, so we're starting to see some 145s come onto the board. 145.548 for Irunom, and for 145.710 for Joris Thielen. Gaidemeyer, who is not on track at the moment. Oh, yes, he is. Wait for the camera to pick him up. There he is. For Comrade Gaming, 137 Ferrari in third position, just 4 tenths off the top spot. Then it is Einar Marinsky in the 184 Porsche. It is in the Kaido HCR Mayella red and white car. Very much Marlboro scented there. Mike Sheppers. There's another lag moment for me. Wonderful. He might have actually returned to the pits. That's probably why the camera can't find him. In fifth position in the 196 Ford. Oh, he was indeed in the pits. There he comes out for another go. Then it is Mr. De Bruychek, our lead Pro-Am qualifier at the moment. In Porsche 295 for VEC Sim Racing Noir. Then it is Felipe Gaillard for VEC Sim Racing Cyan. So a decent representation for the VEC crew at the moment. 2 cars within the top 10. Then it is Series Debutant, Asghar Heb. Now, both me and Stevie have tripped over this name already, and we'll probably do so. I certainly will, as the race goes on. No disrespect meant at all. Asghar Hebsgaard in the 902 Team Viking, love it. Team Viking Ferrari. Then Michael Dressler in the Privateer 189 Ferrari, just coming over the line. Will he improve from the 146.7 he's put on the board? Answer is he did not. That was an outlap. And on he goes into the time lap. The track is very busy. We have 37 cars with us for this evening's race, and Sam Blackwood is going to round out our top 10 for OCM Racing in the 227 Ford. And lag moment just as he was about to cross the line. And there he was. Did he improve? He did not. So that's how our top 10 stands. You can see the top 15 on the left and the ticker along the top.
Absolutely, and we've got, it's kind of what we saw last week, the gaps to the car in front of everybody in each position is pretty small. I'm seeing many that are less than half a 10.
Yes.
Flavien Foku, who in 12th place is only 5 thousandths behind Alexander Godefroy. The gaps are pretty small between them.
Wow, a big stream of about 4 or 5 cars just all came out of the pits at once. So, that was a big old slide there. Who was that? That was Ronnie Gibbons in the tigerish coloured Ferrari, the 228 Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Ferrari. I haven't. That's the point. I haven't covered the teams championship. The teams are not split into the 3 categories we just discussed. It is an all-out fest for them. Whoa, Ronnie, that's very, very wide. So, as predicted, the Bushfink Racing team at the top with 205. Then is Comrade Gaming in second. V3 Racing fairly well represented in third. Then it is the Alpine Star Geodesic Racing crew as seen right in front of us. Then Bushfink Racing Pink, Bushfink Racing Yellow, and then Bushfink Racing Red. All line is down 5, 6, 7. AOR Hime in 8th, AOR Yellow in 9th, and VC Sim Racing Rouge round out the top 10 of the teams.
Yeah. I know you were unfamiliar before this stream. Oh, who's that that's going off the road? That is Phil Reed has just had a hell of a moment.
Oh, no.
Up at turn 5. Do you want to find someone and we'll do an on-board with them for a lap and I'll talk you through this lap?
We'd be just as good at following Iru Nom, and if as Stevie alludes, I am not familiar with the track, but he's just come around the final turns, so let's follow Iru Nom through what could potentially be an even better pole. So away we go. So, coming down this turn 1, this is a double right-hand apex. This is turns 1 and 2. It basically is one long corner, but you can come straight back onto the second straight. It's a great opportunity for overtaking here if you've just been passed into turn 1s and 2, because he's disappeared for me. Coming now into turn 3 and 4. Another long left. This is double apex left now. And he's coming up a little bit of traffic, but he gets out of the way nicely. Another relatively long straight before coming into the slightly longer than 90-degree right-hander of turn 5. It's much tighter than it looks. Going under the Bridgestone Bridge. You have a couple of high-speed corners here through turn 6 and into 7. Left, then right. It's very easy to get wide here. It's very much single file, but we may see some opportunistic moves through here. Coming into turn 9, quite difficult to get it slowed down because, again, this corner is tighter than it looks, and it's a pretty short braking zone. Coming up to the hairpin now of turn 10, slowest corner. Very tight, but very wide, so you've got all the room. Onto the secondary pit straight that we won't be using. He's disappeared from me. Now this is going to be the best opportunity for Racer for overtaking. Turn 11. This is a very tricky braking zone. The gradient is insane. It's very steep. It's very hard to get it slowed down, as you see from Aero there. And he's going to abort the lap. But just to finish it off, there is a final 3 turns, turn 12 and 13, which are 2 very quick, tight left-hand corners leading into the final corner, which is turn 14, a sharp right-hander that brings you onto the pit. There it is, a hot lap from Ironoma, as commentated by Stevie. Now, I'm very impressed to see our debutant is up in 6th. Great showing. Great showing. What a great start.
Yeah, and if anyone's wondering why everyone else is in a class and he has got a grey marker next to his name and he says AOR, it's because he's a reserve. He doesn't have a tier yet. It'll come when he's done a few races for us, just so we can get an idea of where his pace is, and he's certainly looking pretty competitive at the minute.
Isn't he just? Those lag moments, unfortunately, are going to persist. Unfortunately, we can't control those. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it. It's just as bad for the drivers as it is for us. At least it doesn't stop them from continuing. It just stops us seeing where they are at any given moment.
Just to point out as well, we have Alan Van Eyck in the pits. He will not be setting a time because he has a qualifying ban for a misdemeanor at Interlagos. But we do currently have 36 cars that have set laps. And we do have another new debutant this week, which is in position 34, car 944, Craig Parsons. He's a privateer at the minute, also a reserve. Good to see more people.
Indeed, always welcoming new names to our racing leagues at whatever level that you feel you are. There is going to be a league that suits your particular level of driving. So never be afraid to sign up and get involved. You may have crazy people like me and Stevie shouting about your on-track antics.
Yeah.
There's Irenom, so he returned to the pits after just running a little wide off the exit of turn 11. And off to set another lap. He's looking to try and improve on an already impressive... He hasn't improved on that 1:45.548 since he said it quite a few laps ago, but less than 30 seconds now for our drivers to improve on where they stand. And now the checker flag will come out. They will have time to complete any laps that they have started in that time frame, but there's not normally a lot of time. It's enough, but if you wander off the road, you don't have a lot of time to make up for it.
No, it's very much a case of if you start the lap, you've got just enough time to finish it. But if you make any mistakes, you're going to struggle. Just for a class update, our lead Pro-Am car, which you should be able to see on your radio screen, is Chris Dvorak, in P7 overall. And our AM class leader is Chris Bell in 17th, 1.3 off the pace overall. But that's pretty good from him. His next competitor is Sebastian Riethmuller in 22nd. They will all grid together in the order that they qualify. So the likes of Riethmuller, Cooper and Kamke, who are all in that title fight, seeing Chris Bell up to a few places, well, 5 places ahead of them, that's going to be a bit of a concern for them.
And Sarah Dove, our Pro-Am leader, is right there now. They're in 18th at the moment. So bearing in mind that, as we mentioned, as you can see on the overlay, the colored markers on the name, the purple of the pros, the green of the Pro-Am. If I scroll down the names, my brain's gone blank. Where am I?
Right,
thank you. That one. The blues are the AM category. As we've had a shift in the qualifiers. Who's jumped up? I think it may have been Flavio Foco. Possibly.
Well, I know Aero Non went faster. A 45.3.
He did.
Now.
He found another couple of tenths, didn't he? Goodness me. He's going to take him sort of, dragging a dead horse or a cow or something in his car to just slow him down. Whoa, Sarah Dove using all the road. And that's someone using a lot of road. That's Phil Reed in the background. In the AOR Hime. And Sarah Dove did cross the line. And I think remains in the position she's in, which is 18th.
Yep. Merlin Cooper looks like he's still on a lap. Just to point out as well, because they will probably have to pit for fuel in this race, the pit entry here is incredibly tight. It has its own little chicane, which is something to watch out for when we get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking, as I saw Phil actually take that sudden line in as we were looking at Sarah Dove there, and I was thinking, goodness, you've either really lost the tail or that's a really tight line into the pits he's had to take. You might see if we ride on board with... Oh, there is the pit lane entry, and there is that small chicane.
Yes, it's and they have to slow down by the time they go through those yellow cones. They have to be below or on the pit lane speed limit.
Right then, so qualifying is done, and this is how the grid will stand. It is Nom first, Tienan 2, Gaidemeyer 3, Marinsky 4, Scheppers, and Hebsgaard. Again, he hung on to that 6th position. Very nicely done. Then De Bruycek, Gaia, Dreschler, Blackwood, Lundgren, Godefroy, Foku, Imre, Sluman, Suominen, Bell, and Dove. Hoppe, Volstrom, Reed, Toika, Riethmuller, Cooper, Kamke, Smith, Bedford, Krutz, Christensen and Domino, Gibbons, Parsons, Hitchcock, Washington, Parkinson and Williamson, and starting from the tail of the field will be, as previously mentioned, Cohen van Eyck.
I think this track, unpopularity or just lack of use really is showing. You see how we've got a lot of big names pretty low down. We've got Phil Reed and Magnus Wallström outside the top 20 in qualifying. They're pro drivers. They do get class points, so it doesn't matter. They'll still finish like 7th or 8th in class, wherever they are. But yeah, that's going to be a little disheartening for them.
Long race to get this done. There's 46 laps. Roughly, I mean, that is timed as opposed to a lap count, so at the moment it sits at 46, but it may drop a few depending on how the timing has gone. So it's time for them to do something about it, but it's just not what you want, is it? When you're wanting to kind of get out there and get on with it, you don't want cars that are potentially slower than you starting in front of you.
Absolutely, but like you said, it's a very long race. It's an hour and 20-minute race, so there's plenty of time to make up positions. We're not going to get a full formation lap this time. It's going to just be on the back straight just before turn 11. So we'll have a very short pacing period and then we'll be underway.
Excellent. Okay, so we're just waiting for everybody to make any changes, any last minute changes they're able to do, and confirm that they are ready to go. And as you can see, they are lined up behind the pace car. The pace car is now moving, so as soon as they've crossed the line, everybody will now kind of cough and splutter away from their original spot, we'll get this race underway. As Stevie said, there's not a long pacing procedure in this particular track. Sometimes we've had a full race lap done. Not this time, however. Thankfully, we didn't have a full race when we did Nords. That would have taken a while.
That would have been a long one.
Again, apologies for the coughing. We'll try and face away when that happens. There you see Gaidemir keen to get on with the job. The Bushvink cars right up front, and Hebsgaard really also poised, ready to strike. And oh, what's gone on with the Porsche on the right hand side? That's not the ideal start, but away we go then. We are racing here at Motegi, and already Gaidemir shot through into second. A terrible start then for the second Bushvink car. He's actually down to fourth. Hebsgaard looks set to go up to third. He has indeed. What a cracking start for him. There's Joris Thielen that's fallen a few positions. Looks like most people have made it through the first few turns pretty unscathed. As Hebsgaard takes a few cones with him. Let's have a look slightly further down the field. That's side by side. Gaillard and Blackwood in the Porsche and Ford respectively. Still side by side. They've been at line astern for quite a few corners now. Looks like everybody's made it through. No major issues so far, unless you've spotted it. I usually say that and you then update me on that one. Anyone
I have not seen anything. The only thing, there was a slight bump, I think, between Teemu Toika and Phil Reed. But other than that, all looks well.
Gaillard and Blackwood are still side by side. One of you's going to have to blink in a minute. Neither of them are willing to let go. Now Blackwood's going to have the inside line in the Ford. Finally, the 227 Ford has claimed that 7. That was great. That was half a lap side by side. No impact between the two.
And look at the time it's cost them to the cars in front of 2 seconds gap already.
Yeah, there it is. And already Gaillard's under pressure from Dressler. So that's not working out for him. Oh, Suominen, you just lost a position to Lundgren. And they're still side by side. The first racing lap is complete. No major incidents so far. Still lots of side by side going on. Aaron Nom and Dominic Gaidemir in very short order for the lead, and there is Hebsgaard. So a superb start for him. He's come up a few positions since he began. Oh, and again, it just seems risky to kick up dust, but it seems to be what a lot of people do on the exit of that final turn, turn 14. Just kick up a little bit of mud. It's dry, I suppose, so it's not going to spin them off. But it does look like Hebsgaard is under quite a bit of pressure from Thielen behind.
Absolutely, there's many battles going on. What a tremendous start from Asger Hebsgaard. Up 3 places already against pro drivers. Let's not mess around here. These are in the pro class, and he is not showing that just because he's new does not mean you can push him around. But he's not to be taken lightly. He's here and he wants to do well, and fair play to him.
Yeah.
Other than that, we have a big old trains. We've got Jeremy Hoppe. Oh my God, we've got 3 wide P4 really. Jeremy Hoppe and Magnus Wallström. And I think Jeremy Hoppe backed out of that one because otherwise it might have gone horribly wrong. He's under pressure as well now from Teemu Toy, who's just been passed around the outside by Chris Phelps.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. So throughout the field, as we tend to have lots of fighting going on up and down the field. It's not just the front. Oh no, that's Hoppe that's gone off. Oh no, he's lost a number of positions. Still going though, so no impact, no major damage going on for him. He's down in 24th now. It's absolutely swamped with cars. So that just goes to show how quickly the field can change, should there be an issue. Because if you wonder why the numbers change dramatically on the overlay, unfortunately that's kind of down to the way that the lag can kick in. If I don't get any data from someone, the server assumes they just plunging through the field, which is almost never the case. Oh, look at this. Dressler, Godefroy and Imre in this particular battle, with Gaillard just ahead of them. Well, actually, a lot of people in this battle. There's no major gaps forming yet. Everybody, the biggest gap we've got in the top 25 is the gap there, which is Blackwood in 7th in the Ford to De Bruycheck. He's just going to see now at the top of the shot, 2.5 seconds there. Irinom is beginning to break away from Godefroy, from Gaidemir, beg your pardon. Slowly but surely. Then Hasgard and Thielen still very, very close together. That's bringing pretty much the rest of the field with them. Right behind them, you can see Scheppers and De Bruycheck. Then you have got that, what is now 2.7 seconds. Back to the look at that mighty, mighty train going
Oh,
on
we've
right
got
behind him.
Asgard. Sorry, we've got Asgard and Joris side by side for third place overall. Joris has got the outside now coming into turn 7. He's going to have to go the long way around, but he will become the inside for turn 8 if he can make it stick. He's a little bit on the grass, and Asgard managed to hold it off because Joris got out of check. But he can beat him for a movement to 9. It's easy dive bomb territory, and Joris has gone for it. He's going to be careful though because Mike capitalise.
Wow, what a sequence of corners that was. Yeah, that was Hansgaard again. And
It's not finished. It's not finished.
Well, you're talking about not being intimidated. Oh, and he shoves the Porsche off. Oh, Thielen. That was nearly a big issue there. He may not. That was a little bit heavy-handed, but did that cost Hebsgaard an incident point? It was there. Well, he's on 4.
He's on 4. He will definitely have got something. And with Joris on 6, I'm willing to assume they both got 4x for that. As we've said a few times in the broadcast so far, you get an instant point for running off track, 2 for losing control, and 4 for car contact. And it doesn't care who did it, you both get the instant point.
Oh, you just get the feeling that we're in for this for a long, long spell. Just this incessant, big.
Oh, Evan Imre, under pressure from Joachim Lundgren. Evan went very defensive into turn 1.
Oh, and there you've got Sarah Davan, Suominen, Sluman, Foku, and Volstrom in very short order as well. What's happened to Reith Muller? That's him and Toika side by side for 20th. Like I said before, it is throughout the field. The battling is going on. The next biggest gap is actually to also reserve driver Craig Parsons. He's got 2.3 seconds between himself and Jamie Smith on that, on the tail of the battle we've just been seeing. Marinsky's got Marinsky's had a big problem. He started 4th. He's right the way down there in 29th. So something's gone horribly wrong for him. We have had a few people encounter a problem. Hitchcock, have we lost him? No, he's still going. Gibbons has had Gibbons in the pits, so he's had a big problem. And I think we have lost Bedford and Williamson from the race. So few people haven't fared so well, but still plenty of battling going on. Oh, Toika, no, you're coming into a corner. I thought you were running a little slow there, but I think you have had a problem because you were right with Phil Reed last we saw you, but Phil Reed's now come past you for 2.2 seconds. And look at this bunch, 3 wide coming into. I'm not familiar with the tracks or not. Oh, that's turn 10. They've just come through. Now onto the alternate start-finish line as Reith Muller has had to jump in behind his teammate. There, that Ferrari behind is Krutz. It is all kicking off everywhere.
Absolutely, we've still got plenty of battles kicking off. I was going to tell you something. Oh, Phil Bedford has disconnected.
Oh, no.
Through. That is a disconnection issue, not him leaving the thing. He has his internet or something has gone wrong for him. And Fraser Williamson did not start the race.
Oh, what a shame.
Something's happened to him. Evan Imre still under huge pressure from Joachim Lundgren and Sarah Dove. And therefore, Jukka Suominen and Marvin Sluman. Flavian Foku's under pressure from Magnus Wallström, and somebody is just obliterated some cones. Don't worry, the iRacing marshals are very, very efficient. They're very good at their job. They will replace them next time round. We've got Foku is under pressure right now from Magnus Wallström. Magnus trying to go around the outside turn 5. This track lends itself so well to racing, I think, because you can take many different lines through some of the corners. But it can be proved to be quite difficult. Oh, Wallström trying to do the dummy on Foku. It didn't quite work. That was going to leave him vulnerable to Phil Reed, maybe. No, he's managed to hold on.
And then not too far behind, that's Jeremy Hoppe.
That's got Gaillard fell off somewhere.
What's happened to Gaillard? Oh, there was a tiny bit of impact there. Oh, there he goes. He's just wandered wide. I think it was
he got a bump.
I was going to say, it did look like he got a helping hand on that one. Oh dear. Felipe Gaillard getting shown where the dust is. That's given him 4 incident points. They have a maximum of 20.
20. Yep, 20 for an hour and 20 minutes.
And some people are actually getting a little close to halfway. I saw someone had 8. His team with Toika has already clocked up 8 points. Quite a few zeros still on the board. But early days, that could very easily change. It's difficult to know where to look. There's so many kind of big clumps of cars very close together. Let's have a look at this one. De Bruychak, Thielen and Shepherd. Bear in mind, Thielen started on the front row was fending off our debutant Hebsgaard, who now finds himself slightly in no man's land. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of this pack, but 4.5 seconds behind Gaydemir. Oh, Dressler, what's happened to you? You've been overtaken by Gaillard. So nothing particularly happened there. It's just the Porsche had a decent run.
I think that was also perhaps Dressler that ran into the back of Gaillard last lap. But that might be my call just letting that one through.
That looks a very heavily reshapen front on that Ferrari. Or is that on Dressler?
Yeah, he's the one that hit Gaillard, so he probably does.
Yeah.
Joris Thielen, by the way, is making a move on Krista Wojcik for 4th place. He's managed to get that one done into turn 7.
Did indeed. Oops, that's the Ford of Shepherd's getting a little bit squirrely. But has managed to keep that one on the straight and narrow. It's not that this track doesn't have overtaking opportunities. So I'm surprised that we're still seeing kind of lots of big trains going on. Excuse me.
Yeah, we've got plenty of battles up and down the grid for sure. Just a class update. Krista Wojcik, who we've just seen, is leading Pro-Am in a brilliant 5th place overall. For Am, it is still Chris Bell, but he is down in 21st now. And he has got Sebastian Riesmuller and Merlin Cooper right behind him.
Yep, and Soren Krutz as well. Soren Krutz and Jamie Smith in that battle as well. Jamie Smith in the same class as Chris Bell is. So checking up front to see where our leaders
I got to like Mike Shepherd's and the TV cam just showed literally every driver down the pit strip.
Evan and Ray! Yeah, we both cut to the same thing there. That's Sarah Dove that's come through. So he was battling off Oberden earlier, I think it was. Now that's Sarah Dove come through. So she's wanted to get, what's she, 5th in these Pro-Ams at the moment, in 12th position. Of course, she's leading that category, so she really wants to be getting further up the field than that. But a decent overtake nonetheless. Oberden now takes the charge to try and demote Evan Imre even further, with Marvin Sleeman not too far behind. Phil Reed, we saw involved in that three-way battle with Falstrom and Foku earlier on.
That's just been resolved because Phil got past Foku at turn 1 and 2, which then left Foku vulnerable down the next straight, and Falstrom finished the moves off into 3 and 4.
Is damage on Phil Reed's car? Front left?
Yes, I would agree with that. Oh, he's got some slight bump on the rear left as well. Yeah, he's definitely got some damage, but it shouldn't affect him too much if it's only light body work.
De Bruycek and Sheppers for 5th position. Very close again. Porsche having a look on the inside, coming towards turn 1. Doesn't go for it. This turn 1? No, that's somewhere else. I've got my corner numbers muddled up, which I will probably do quite repeatedly. That was turn 4, I think, in hindsight, because they came into the race and turned right. So anyway,
it's a track that looks a little bit similar everywhere around it.
Being my first time commentating on it, it's going to be a challenge for me.
I haven't driven for a while, but I have a track map open, just in case.
I never leave home without one. So anyway, moving on. Go on.
Yuka Suominen was very close on the exit of turn 2 to Evan Imre, but it was just a crossing over of the different lines they took. Yuka with a tighter exit and Evan with the wider one meant for quite a close call.
Godefroy on Blackwood. Battle for 7th between the Ferraris. My goodness! Sorry, the Ford and the Ferrari. Sam almost being shoved along the road by Godefroy. That got very, very close. It was less than 2/10 between the two at the time. So many people having to deal with quite a lot of pressure. What's happened to Toika? He has lost position to Jeremy Hoppe. So that's 20th then for the Twin Ring Racing Yellow Ferrari. And there you've got Chris Bell, our AM leader, right with him. With quite a few people. There's Reese Miller, Cooper and Kurtz and Jamie Smith that have been involved in that battle for quite a while. The only people that aren't really doing a great deal of fighting at the moment is our lead pair.
Yeah, and Asger Hebsgaard as well. He's running around in 3rd place on his own.
Yeah.
Just a point as well, the battle for Sam Blackwood He's got about 3 seconds to the car in front of him, which is Chris de Bruyche. That was very close from the guy out behind. But that gap developed from when he fought so hard with Gaillard on lap 1. Gaillard's disappeared, which was rude because I was watching him. But yeah, this is now a 3-way fight, and this is for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Pro-Am class. So Sam is going to be very much aware. He's had a couple of tough races to Sam the past couple, so he'll be glad to see himself running so well. 7th overall is not too shabby at all.
As we were looking down the start-finish straight from, of course, 8th, well, looking Godefroy, but we can see Sam Blackwood in 7th. We saw all the way down to that battle with Bell, Riethmuller, and Cooper and Krutz. That's 7th to 24th, all in the same camera shot. That kind of gives you an idea of just how close the field is. Speaking of, Toyka, what's happened to you? You were fighting with Chris Bell, and I think Bell's has won out on that one, so he's hung on to 20th position.
Yeah, I wonder if this is one of those tracks. It's, we know how fast Timo is. He got pole position at the Nordschleife. It takes a serious set of skills to do that, and yet he's running outside the top 20 at the minute. He's Pro-Am pace, and he's got Am leader here in front of him. Yeah. Oh, wait, it's going to be Blade. It's going to be, yeah, never mind.
Oh, Suominen on Emre, trying to do an outside move coming through 10.
Yep. He's going to have the run. This is going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult to go around the 90-degree right of turn 11.
So Evan Imre then poised to try and defend that particular position. Suominen noses ahead. Here they're coming into the braking zone of 11, still side by side. Evan doesn't try and shove him off the road, and that is job done for Jukka Suominen in 13th position.
That's very close. It's really quick through turns 12 and 13. It's very easy to get lured into following people too closely through there.
Wow, that was close.
Scary?
Yes, just a little bit. It was bad enough in the commentary box. I dread to think what went through Evan's mind then as he clammed on the anchors mid-corner. But there we go.
They've also got Phil Reed and Magnus Wallstrom making their way through, trying to keep up and trying to recover things. Stop attacking those cones.
What do they ever do to you?
Exactly. But like I said, the iRacing marshals are incredibly efficient. They will replace them.
Yeah, they're right. And you never see them do it.
Yeah, and they don't complain about it either.
Well-disciplined marshals in the world.
Absolutely. We've got a battle with Merlin Cooper in 20 seconds. We've got Soren Cruz. Sebastian Riethmuller is being passed by Merlin Cooper. Oh, he's getting a bit round. No! Well avoided by everybody else there. Very well avoided by everybody there. But that has given Riethmuller exactly what he wanted, I'm sure, which was a little bit of a gap now. There's just 2.6 seconds between him and class leader now.
And Cooper's side by side with Krutz. I think it was impact on the Ford. Although the nose looks fine. It looked like Jamie Smith inadvertently buried the nose of the Ford into the tail of Soren Cruz's Ferrari there as they were trying to avoid that particular issue. But the Ford looks okay, so he may have actually avoided of any kind of impact there. But where to look, Stevie? Where to look?
I'm currently looking at Sam Blackwood and Alexander Godefroy because they're about to go side by side through turns 12 and 13. I think no, Godefroy wisely backed out of that. Yeah, it's very tricky to do.
Yeah, that would have been painful, I think.
Yeah, that final corner specifically, that turn 14 right-hander is pretty much single file. So you need to get any move done before there. And Sam on the racing line for 12 was always going to have the momentum to take that. Yeah, there's battles literally everywhere. You pick a position that's not the top 3.
yeah, basically the only ones.
Although, as Dominic Gaidemes reeled in Aeronom a little bit.
No, there's 3 seconds behind them on my screen. The one that really is on his own is Hebsgaard. He's 7 seconds off the back of Gaidemer. So he's got some work to do to try and close that in. But, Evan Imre, Phil Reed. That's Phil Reed on the inside. That's surely going to be moved on. That's coming through turn 4. Yeah, that's. I'm not convinced Evan Ford.
Marvin's still on the grass. That's going to leave him vulnerable to Marvin Sluman now. He was on the grass for a long time.
Here he comes in the Ford. Oh, Marvin also touched the grass as well. That then brought Wallstrom in. But no, remain well behaved on that one. Oh, just as I say that. Then Sluman possibly a little bit slow coming through the next series of turns. Put the Ferrari alongside the Ford. No, Wallström back into position there. You know where the real opportunities are. Look on the inside coming into 10, but he's going to have to force this one. Is he going to get a decent run? He's still side by side, but no. Sluman does get the drive he needs to get back in front. That's the view from the nose of Wallström's Ferrari. Jumps out from the slipstream. Is he going to dive? There he goes. You did mention that was an ideal diving spot on the inside of 11, but no, he didn't get alongside enough. Well defended there by Sluman, and they continue they continue line astern as they have been for most of the race.
Yeah, it's that corner is very difficult to get right. It's very important to get a brake marker set out pretty early. Of like, this is as late as I can brake without definitely not falling off the road. And you can gain a lot just by doing that. We've got a little bit of the Formula Renault 3.5 situation going on here. We've got Aaron and Dominic Gatemir who are running away with it out front, it seems, with already an 8-second gap to Asger Hebsgaard behind.
Stunning effort, absolutely brilliant effort then from our top two. Irinom is probably won't be seen for the vast majority of the rest of the race.
I'm sure that's what he's hoping. We've got this train from Blackwood down to Saradov is amazing to me, and it's not like Sam's holding them all up because they're all running. If he was going that slowly, they'd have passed him. We've seen it's quite easy to have a go at people, so he must be running right on the edge of their pace, which is doing just enough to keep them at bay.
And it's not like you're seeing lots of kind of half efforts going on to try and pass Sam either.
He's doing great.
Fair effort to him. Gaillard. He's having a lot of trouble, isn't he?
That is his connection issue that is going on there. That's going to be a struggle for those, because that means that to all the drivers in the race, he is blinking. They can see him doing that, which is quite scary if you're Jochen Lundgren. Yeah,
indeed. But is there a gap? No, there's no gap forming there. The blinking put me off slightly. But you can just see Godefroy doing what he can to stay right in touch with the Ford. But just know that he's missing that extra little bit, isn't he, to make the pass happen. Gaillard jumps right over to our left-hand side, to his right. It was kicking up a bit of dust. No, that was Michael Dressler. Just tapping the grass there. Oh! Who was that? Godefroy. I saw you take a very odd line there. Oh, wow! He just caught that outside curve coming out of 2. And then just pitched the tail round, and over the crest he went. He's lost some momentum, and that is Gaillard that's through.
Yeah, and we've got Saradov and Michael Dressler scrapping at the back of that queue as well.
That's very close. So, yeah, Dressler's actually fallen behind Saradov now. Damaged Ferrari is going to be doing Dressler no favours at all. Go on.
Oh, Joris Thielen has reeled in Asger Hebsgaard for third place overall.
He has indeed. Porsche, our third place Ferrari now has some company in the form of the person that started ahead of him on the front row course. So now Hebsgaard is going to have his defensive driving put to the test.
Yeah, and this is one of those things. It's the official races for these series usually go between 45 minutes to an hour, but this race is a little bit longer. And it's one thing to be quick over a short distance.
Sorry to cut you off, Stevie. Shepherds has had a problem. I thought I'd spotted him fall through the field a little bit. What's he done? Oh, he got... that's 11.
That's all wrong. Got someone out. And he wasn't even under great pressure by the looks of it. No, he's braked a little too late, and off he goes.
Yeah, that was De Bruycek that went through. So he's still on the back of the Porsche, but that was a strange mistake, but that can happen. I mean, when you're trying your best to keep those behind you, it's very easy to take your eye off what's going on in front of you.
Absolutely. And I cannot express how steep that braking zone is. It is downhill, and the gradient on it is pretty intense.
Yeah, it's difficult to see actually from the.
I'm trying.
That was close. Dressler really had an interesting moment to brake, because he really did look like he was going to slam into the back of Sarah Dove's Ford there. He's obviously rearranged that Ferrari already once this in this race. I thought he was going to do it again, but managed to slow it down. And again, it looks much worse from our perspective than it does from theirs. But when we get to, where is Sarah Dove at the moment? That's coming through turn 9, I think. Yes, so then they're going to come through turn 10. We'll see if we can get on board with, if we pick, Gaillard and Godefroy have just swapped position. So Gaillard then into 9th position. Let's actually jump on board with Alexander Godefroy, see if we can get an idea of how steep that is. That's a much better idea of wow, my God, that is really downhill.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get the car slowed down. There's no ABS on these cars either. So it's all on the drivers to not lock up. And if you do, oh boy, you're going off.
Yeah,
unfortunately, there is a little bit. Yeah, there is a little bit of runoff there, and it is gravel, so it will slow you down. But it's going to cost you a huge chunk of time doing it.
Oh, there was Gaillard that seems to be blinking a little bit less at the moment. Which will please everyone around him, I'm sure. As he was having a look on his fellow VEC coloured Ferrari. Again, making himself known in the mirrors, but not committing to a move. But that's very close. Roy is trying then to chase off after Blackwood. There you see Sam. We'll go on.
Sorry, Joris was very close going into the braking zone previously. Of turn 5 on Asgar Hebsgaard. He's putting all of the pressure on him now. He's not quite close enough for the minute, but it is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. This I know we keep remarking it's difficult to know with a look that the battles are just incessant. Dressler, I think that was just a touch of the grass more than a statement of intent there, because he suddenly jinked over to the left. Sarah Dove is really putting the pressure on Lundgren. You got to think that's a pro category Ferrari that Sarah is really challenging very, very hard. Sarah still sits in 5th in class. Blackwood, Godefroy and Gaillard the next targets in her class, so they're not that far down the road. The one that is leading the way still in the Pro-Ams is De Bruyck, who's under a lot of pressure still by Mike Sheppers in the Ford.
And Sam Blackwood has now got a lovely gap to those that are behind him.
What's happened to Hebsgaard? Nothing, he lagged.
Oh, Joris has pitted.
That's what threw my numbers out slightly. So
yeah, Joris has pitted.
Oh, that's early.
That is early. That could be. Yeah, this might just be a normal stop. But I imagine he's going to be out in a lot of traffic.
Yeah, he may well just didn't fancy it. Oh, we've lost who?
We have lost Mr. Gibbons and we have lost Mr. Toyka.
Oh dear.
I was going to say this also, by the way. Eno Morinsky's back out. I mean, he's running in 25th place, but he is back out on track, which is good to see.
Yes, he's, as we mentioned earlier, he started in 4th, finds himself quite some way down, unfortunately. We don't know what happened to him. He was in the pits for 3 minutes at one point, so that wonon't help.
No, and Joris Thielen, for reference, came out in position number 20. That's how close they are. He has come out in P20, so he has a lot of traffic. Got a bit of a gap at the minute to the car ahead of Chris Bell, about 4 seconds, but he is going to. Some of these people will run these tanks dry. They're going to be out for a while.
The fuel tank will last, will it?
With one stop, they definitely will be able to make it. I don't know how the fuel's going to work here. Oh, Mike Sherpa's on Chris De Bruyck. De Bruyck made a little bit of a mess of turn 10, and Mike is going to have to go down the inside of turn 11. Hopefully he can get it stopped this time and not think about what he did a few laps ago, which is easy for me to stay up here. No, he's managed to get that one done, and I don't think Chris will fight that too hard for now. He knows Mike was ahead initially before he made that mistake, so... Oh, who's that?
Oh, go on.
No, it's JJ Parkinson. He was just getting out of the way. I think he's had an issue at that at turn 14 when those two came through, and I was like, oh, there's a car there.
And just use that as momentum to get out of the way. Fair
Absolutely.
enough. Again, still just masses of cars in the same shot. We've been going now for, 30 minutes?
Half an hour.
Yeah. We're on lap 17 and still masses of people in very, very hot pursuit, very short order.
There might be a position going on change for a minute between Merlin Cooper and Sebastian Reifmuller. Sebastian got a little wide out of 17, but just behind them, Soren Cruz and Jamie Smith are scrapping for position 23 and 24. Jamie just getting the edge of Soren into turns 1 and 2. You're right, there is fighting literally everywhere.
Yep, and there's Einar Marinsky that is right behind them. I wouldn't imagine if he's pitted on lap 1 or 2, he'll need to pit again, sure.
He will probably need to pit again, yes. But he's with this group that haven't pitted, so this is roughly where he's racing for, because no one else has pitted around him. But he's got a little bit of work to do, but we know how quick he is. I'm sure he can get some more positions before the end.
And Dvorak still he's falling a little bit off the back of the Ford now, but they are in different categories. You can see by the coloured plates on the side and on the backs of the cars, denoting the same colour scheme as the colours on the scoreboard. As also as Stevie explained in previous races, the car number starts with 1. They're in the Pro category. If it starts with 2, it's the Pro-Am. And if it starts with 3, they are in the Am category. If it starts with 9, they are unclassified.
Yes.
Yet.
This is just a colour point, and it literally is a colour point. Michael Dreschler, although the front end of his car is quite heavily bumped, has had a livery update. It's very colourful now. He used to run an old Force India one.
Yes.
And it now has a multicoloured one. I like it very much. There you go. That's something. A fun fact: drivers can update their skins. There's no limit on what they have to run. A lot of them run in official teams, who are like we've seen from Team Bushfink with the million cars they field, and similar to with VEC. But it's useful for us because it means we get to spot them quite easily.
Oh, that's Krutz on Marinsky in the background as we were looking at Cooper and Reithmuller. And suddenly then, Marinsky made that move on the inside of the 291 Ferrari and fairly conclusively made that pass. Nice.
Cooper is putting huge pressure on Reithmuller as well. I quite like watching Cooper because he is very aggressive. We've seen a few times he is not afraid to send it down the inside if he thinks he's got a move going on.
Where is he? Oh, there he is. So again, that's a lag moment, confusing my numbers.
I'm just assuming that's...
He just assumes he's fine, yes.
And then one day we'll look and the leader will be out and we'll have missed it.
Yeah, he'll be stuck in the wall and be shouted at for not picking up an incident going on there.
Oh, Joris Thielen then, still in position number 20. He's gaining on those around him. He's going to be okay until he hits the train behind Evan Imre. Because they're running similar lap times to his, yes.
Oh, Reithmuller and Cooper side by side. Cooper winning out on that one, getting back up into 21st. Can he slow down? Yes, he can. And that then brings Einar Marinsky into that battle as well. Soren Kritz not too far behind. It's a Porsche showcase going on at the moment with these three. Is there one from it? There's actually one from each of the three classes as well, I've just realised. Marinsky being the Pro, Reithmuller being the Pro-Am. And ironically, the leader of the lot is Merlin Cooper, is the Am captain.
Yep. And just talking of the classes going on, we have Chris Bell still leading Am class, P19 overall, down a couple of positions from where he started, but I don't think he'll care considering he's leading Am class. And in Pro-Am, it is Chris Dvorak still leading the way, 6 seconds now over Sam
That is
Jay Pond. Yeah. He's a few laps down. No, he's one lap down. Yeah. Who else?
Is he our last runner? No, he's not. No, he's not.
No. Yes, he is. 33rd overall. And the only people behind him are Timu Toika, who's left, God Gibbons, who's left, Phil Bedford, who's disconnected, and Fraser Williamson, who did not start.
Shame indeed. Oh, Sam Blackwood. So he just jumped up to him. He has has Alexander Godefroy for company there in 6th position. Still we've only really seen, the only person that's pitted is still Joris Thielen. Well, Einar Marinsky did, but right at the beginning for repairs. Oh, Phil Reed, what's has happened to you? Nothing's happened to you. That's a lag moment that's caused another. Oh, Evan Imre under pressure again. That is Magnus Wallström. That is right behind him and nearly pushing him along.
Yeah, both Phil and Magnus recovering from dare I say it, a poor qualifying. I don't think that's really fair given how competitive this league is. But yeah, up to 13 and 15 respectively from 20th and 21st. Phil has led Magnus pretty much the whole way through.
Sarah Dove, she was right with Lundgren. She's trying to outbrake him on the outside. Oh, that's coming through. That's 2 and 3, is it?
No, that is 4 or 5.
4 and 5.
Coming through 6 now.
Oh, still side by side. We saw this in the beginning part of the race with cars being side by side for corner after corner. And she's only gone and done it. That's Jochen Lundgren from the Pro class. That she's just done a lovely move on there. Dressler's looking fit to try and follow suit as well. Wow, that's close from Lundgren on the tail of Sarah Dove. That's now 9th then for the Ford. And that then puts her, what does that put her? 1.3 behind Gaillard. And that puts her actually right with most of the class, essentially. Actually, technically it already is. So from 5th to 9th are all Pro-Ams now.
Yeah, Pro-Am are doing really well. It's one of those things that the tracks can really vary on how well people perform. We saw it a couple of weeks ago at Brands Hatch with Gordon Anderson running as high up as 8. And arguably one of the lower classes. These tracks can throw different results depending on how much drivers like them, how much they prepare for them. This is one of those leagues, I think, where if you don't prepare, you're going to struggle.
Why, very much so. And this race really accentuating that. Just, if you're a few tenths off the pace, you're quite a few positions down the road. Yeah,
it's Dressler putting the pressure on Lundgren as well now. As Magnus putting the pressure on Evan, just a smidgen behind, only a few seconds down the road. But yeah, it's one of those things, and we've seen it the past few weeks at a track that was pretty much solely Interlagos. If you're going a qualifying lap and you know that you've got 2 tenths in one corner, if you just get it right, that can be the difference between 6th and 13th. Sometimes
Trio Lagos.
Yeah, definitely.
It was an interesting showcase of all the iRacing categories that we do, or currently do, going on in the same place. So if you love Interlagos, we showcased everything that we do. What's happened to Reith Muller? He's probably nothing. Probably the lag then causing that number to disappear. I thought he'd been overtaken again, but no, he's absolutely fine. As they continue to chase down the road in their respective battles. Which that's not meaning for that sentence to sound disingenuous, but you just any given moment, one person can make a mistake, and suddenly the whole order of the battle they've been involved with for lap on lap on lap on lap on lap could just completely change. And
Absolutely.
We were talking earlier about how Hebsgaard was under pressure from Joris Thielen, and Joris Thielen now in 19th and continuing his charge. Well, that's a point. Let's have a look at lap times. So last time around for Hebsgaard 47.8, for Thielen 47.9. So maybe he was just wanting to get out from the shadow, not wanting to stay stuck behind someone. But if that was his game, it's rather backfired somewhat.
Well, fortunately, as co-commentator, I can bring the iRacing HUD up without you all having to see the ugliness that it is. So I can see all of their previous lap times. Hebsgaard is running pretty much consistent 47.798. Wow. Roughly around that area, between 47.7 and 47.9. Joris Thielen is doing, if I can find it, there he is. He's running a little bit quicker, between 47.8 to 47.5 last lap. So he's probably gaining, but marginally. It might play out in the long run, but he's going to have a car that's heavier on fuel for a lot longer. and as the fuel burns off, it's probably going to pay a little bit more towards Asger in third.
A few more people have gone into the pits. Matthias Salo Christensen has come in to serve his mandatory stop. But still quite a lot of people running much longer before doing so.
Sam Blackwood a little bit wide through turn 11. Sorry to cut you off there. It's putting him under a little bit of pressure. He's in P6 at the minute. Alexander Godefroy just behind him. He's gained because I wonder if Sam's made some issues. Had some issues because he was about 5 seconds clear.
Not anymore. He's now got a lot of company in the Ford. His last lap was a 48.2. I think the one before it was a similar time. So whether he's had an issue that we didn't see, or the car looks okay, and that's was one of the Fords getting out of the way. That's come through the pits. I think that's actually Christensen that would just come out of the pits. Saw the blue Ford at the top of the shot, just saying very much out of everybody's way. Absolutely fine. Marking that Hebsgaard's staying fairly consistently in the high 47s. He did 47.5 last time around, which is again same kind of pace as Joris Thielen. At some point, Irunom was done a 46 flat.
I'll tell you when he did that. He did it on lap 2.
Oh God! Wow. So
his last laps have only been 47.1s and 47.2s.
It's positively coasting.
Yeah, he's hardly pushing. A lot of people managed to, like we've said a few times with qualifying. These tyres can run for a long time, but their absolute peak grip is at the very, very start. So a lot of drivers do have their best laps set on lap 2. Saradov, just clicking through random names. Sam Blackwood, Mike Sherpers, Asger Hebsgaard, for example, to name a few. Worth pointing out as well regarding tyres, it is quite hot.
It is.
Its temperature is going down as the day progresses. Down to 34, but there was a phase of the race where it was a toasty 38 degrees. So they will be struggling a little bit with overheating tyres. And the rapid change of direction and the long corners here they won't be enjoying it too much.
Indeed. As Volstrom continues to keep the pressure on the intrepid Scotsman. Oh, he's having a look coming into turn 1. Can never shut the door. He does. Magnus Wallström could not get alongside.
Oh, look at the different lines, though. Look at the different lines. Look how tight Magnus was to the apex, whereas Evan used all of the roads to maximise his exit speed, and it's paid off a little bit for Evan. That's why I like these kind of tracks, is it? And again, people don't like this track, and I really don't know why. We've had 43 minutes of racing, and there are battles literally everywhere.
Indeed. Whoa! That was near the impact between Volstrom and Imre. What are we looking like on incident count? Marvin Slubner's got to be careful. He's along with Inan Marinsky, both on 14, and so Soren Kreutz, actually.
I know, but neither of them are our highest. That goes to Dominic Gaidemeyer. Position 2, he's on 15. He's got 5 more, and he's got just under half the race to go. He's going to have to be very careful.
He's been pushing a little too hard to try and catch up with the mighty Nom, who's got a grand total of 1.
Yep, and a 7-second lead to go with it.
I mean, you said before that when you get into your rhythm, it's easy to remain in that rhythm.
Yeah, and and we've heard from him before. If he doesn't need to push, he won't. So he's probably just taking things off. And it's one of the nicest feelings in a race is when you are leading and you're not pushing, but you're still extending the gap. Absolutely. That is when you can back off and still gain is a very cool feeling. Godefroy, by the way, is putting a little bit of pressure now on Blackwood. Blackwood got a little bit wide through turns 1 and 2. Maybe applying a little bit of pressure now to Blackwood, who's had a little bit of a solid run for second place in Pro-Am.
Dressler and Lundgren still involved in the battle, with Suominen and Phil Reed now right on that tail of that pack.
Evans run wide! Evan run wide, and that is hold up Magnus. Magnus had to get on the brake, and he's run wide himself. That might give Flo Fokum a run. It has. Oh, Magnus's day goes from bad to worse. He's now lost another position. Well, he's going to try and fight it through turn 5. It's going to be easier for Foco on the outside here. He was a little bit further ahead, and he has that position now.
It looked like, it didn't look like, remember, the Volstrom was just going to let Foco go, but then he started to fight it as the Porsche came alongside, but that position is done, as Foco then takes that 15th spot, then just behind, you can see Marvin Sluman with Hoppe and Joris Thielen in short order as well, so the front-running Porsche really needs to clear these guys, and needs to clear them fairly soon.
Yeah, this is where his battle with for third place overall with Asger may come undone if people are scrapping in front of him or don't have the pace that he can deploy. His last lap was pretty good. It was a 47.4. It was not far off his absolute best.
Very true. It was only about 15 thousandths of a second off his previous best. But he is right. Oh, speaking of, Hoppe on the inside of turn 11 has got alongside the Ford. Oh, that's put Thielen offline though. And this is exactly what exactly what you were saying earlier. Because people in front of him are battling for their own positions. There's no blue flags going on. They're not obliged to get out of the way, and they're not doing anything wrong. As Bell and Marinsky have just swapped position. Where's Marinsky gone? Oh, he's in the pits again. So this
might be his pit stop for fuel. Oh, who's that? That's run wide. Hoppe's run wide. He's run wide at turn 1 after fighting so hard to get that position. And just a point, we were saying on the battles, Joris Thielen's last lap, because of that ahead of him, was a 48.8. Asger Hebsgaard last lap, 47.9. He's just lost 9/10 of a second. Ouch. Any work he'd just done has just undone itself.
Unfortunately so, Phil Reed's dived on the inside of Jukka Suominen for 12th position. So the AOR Hime Ferrari has moved up another spot. Started down in 21st. There's no drop races in this season, if I recall correctly. So
no drop races. Every result counts.
Indeed, so he'll be wanting to kind of press on. Oh, Sluman. Oh, wow, that was close. That was Marvin Sluman and Joris Thielen. Joris taking that one on the inside of turn 9, I believe that is. So the Porsche has lost more time than he'd like, so he's not wanting to stay stuck behind anybody else now. It's 2.3 seconds between himself and Volstrom. Volstrom on the tail of a 3-car battle. There he is. That is Flavio Foco just ahead. Evan Imre a few turns further down the road as well. And then Thielen will find himself in a 6-second gap between Evan and Jukka Suominen. But then there's just this almighty great gaggle of cars that then follows down the road. Sarah Dove right under the rear wing of Philippe Gaillard. So she's now wanted to challenge for 4th in class. Oh, she looks poised to do it, but decides not to go for it. Coming in
turn 3 and 4. Turn 3 and 4 is not really the place you want to do it. Turn 1, yep. Turn 5, yeah. Turn 9, turn 10, turn 11, all kind of a thing. But turn 3 and 4, it's a little too tight really to want to do it. Godefroy also is putting huge pressure on Sam Blackwood at the minute as well, just ahead of that squabbling Gaillard and Dove.
They're almost in pairs at the moment towards the sharper end. So Blackwood and Godefroy, Dove and Gaillard, although Lundgren is not. Well, actually, Lundgren's a couple of seconds further down the road. So there's Lundgren and Dressler. There is Phil Reed and Jukka Suominen joining the pair ahead. So that conga line continues. And the 6-second gap, as previously mentioned, to Evan, Van Foco and Magnus Volstrom. Where is Thielen? Go on.
Thielen is running 17th. He's got a little bit of gap now to Magnus ahead of him. Joris going to come up with a problem here because he's coming up to the Evan group, and we look how long it's taken Magnus Volstrom, and he's still there. He was right with Phil Reed, and Phil Reed's nearly 10 seconds up the road from him now. This could be a problem for Joris.
Indeed. Speaking of Phil Reed, he's staring at the back of Michael Dressler, who is right within 3/10 of Joachim Lundgren. Battle for 10th position. Yeah, I think that early pit stop is doing him no favours at all. What's happened to Reith Miller? Is he in the pits? No, I think him and Kamko are possibly having a battle. That's someone just come in? No.
We've also got a three-way scrap a bit further down for 24th, 25th, and 26th between Nick Domino, Kevin Van Eyck, and Eno Marinsky. Eno having just stopped again. It's clearly come out in this scrap. Eno's going to go for the inside move, I think, into turn 11 on Cohen, but Cohen just about outbreaks him. So any battles that Eno was trying to, or positions he was trying to gain by pitting earlier, is going to be hampered, although Cohen has just pitted.
Yeah, well, that is one less car for Eno Marinsky to have to deal with. Is now starting to see the pit stops start to take effect as we hit the 30-minute remaining mark, 2/3 of the way through the race. Lewis Dammit, as Nick Domino has Marinsky for company. Let's check up further up the field. Sarah Dove still with Felipe Gaillard, 1.8 between that battle. There is the next one, which is Lundgren, Drescher and Phil Reed right with them. Soeman has fallen a little bit off the back of that pack, so whether he's just choosing to fall back a little bit or whether he's made a mistake, not entirely certain. You were talking earlier about overheating tyres. If he's had a bit of a problem, he may opt to back off a little bit. Phil Reed looks poised to make a move. Is he going to have a dive on the inside of 11? No, thinks better of that, and then spontaneously vanishes as we were talking about it. Dressler, though, is absolutely following the tyre tracks of Lundgren at the moment. Again, one of these battles where...
Oh no, Sarah Dove! She's off at the turn 13! Yeah, 13. I don't know whether she was trying to make an impressive pit entry, but it's all gone wrong for her.
I think she was aiming for a pit lane entry. She went diving off directly straight.
Yeah,
and just overcooked it.
Locked up, and has gone straight up. It's why you want to do some practice for it. Godefroy, by the way, is also very close to Stan Blackwood. He's going to have a look into turn 3. Oh. Blackwood not scared by that. Did tuck the corner anyway. It was, well, I hope you get that stopped because I'm turning in.
Like it or not, I'm coming through.
Oh, wow. Sarah's going to be kicking herself for that.
Yeah. She lost a lot of time coming into the pit. So it's a fairly standard pit stop, about 11 seconds or so stationary. She's come back out in 20th position. But yeah, that's an insane amount of time that's cost her. Great shame, because she was having such a great drive to get back in the Pro-Am battles. But still, there's still time on the board, but it is ticking away.
Absolutely, and it's proving difficult to make huge gains on cars around you. Just an update, by the way, Dominic Gaidemeyer now on 17 incident points. If he has contact now with any car in the remaining 28 minutes of this race, he is out. He has to be very careful going forward.
Oh yes.
Oh, Ben Hitchcock saying his engine blew up.
Oh no.
That is odd. I've never seen that.
Well, that will spell the end of your race.
It will do. Oh, Godefroy putting huge pressure on Blackwood. He was trying to get her nose in through turns 12 and 13, and it's just not going to happen through there. He's clearly showing that he's got more pace, but Sam is not willing to just let him through. Oh, Dreschler's very close to Lundgren defending into turn 1. This might also let Phil Reed capitalise.
Well, I did wonder whether Phil was going to go try and sneak through on the inside of that long right-hander, but thought better of that. There's a little bit of adjusting going on further back. Cameron Kane, Reetha Miller up to... Nope, that's... Again, just my overlay going a little bit mad. Where's Phil Reed? There he is. Jumping back to the battle we had. Oh, here we go. This that's Dressler that's been slow.
That's very wide.
Oh,
very wide with Phil on the inside. It's got Lundgren in the middle. Dressler on the outside.
Oh, what a move. If Phil Reed could pull this off. 2 cars in 2 corners. He's still fighting with Dressler. With Lundgren, beg your pardon. And Phil Reed still got battling to do. Now going to have the outside coming through. 7. Now the inside for 8. Oh, tiny impact between the 2. And Phil Reed has indeed got up into 9th place. Wow.
That was tremendously well driven, but it has brought Yuka Suominen straight back in. This is a huge fight now for 9th place. It's a 4-car train, just like that, as we've said so many times. How do you find a battle when it's this intense and this big? One thing kicks off, and everything changes. Dressler tried to make the move and has lost the position to Phil Reed.
Yeah, absolutely. as Joris Thielen has come past Flavien Foku. That's the 14th position now. Keeping an eye on that, rather big Ferrari showcase going on here. 4 of them. Filtering through from 9th through to 12th, and that is Lundgren Pitts indeed.
He's had enough of that.
And just ahead of them, that's Godefroy on Gaillard. The VEC pairs continuing to fire.
Oh, wait, Godefroy must have made a mistake.
I was going to say, they were the other way around as when we looked at them last. So
he was right on Sam, wasn't he? Yeah, I'm going to go back and find what happened.
So, yeah, now the VEC Porsche leads the VEC Ferrari. Sam has
he got a little bit on the grass on the entry to turn 7, and he ended up cutting across the gravel through turn 8, so it's cost him a lot of time.
Oh, Thielen! Oh, Joris Thielen! We just saw that. We saw him making an inside move on Evan Imre, and he's just lost that coming through 2 and 3. Oh no, it was such one of those really slow moving, slow rotation spins that just feels really clumsy when you're in it. And oh dear, a great shame for Thielen. His recovery drive has been halted somewhat, but that'll play right into the hands of Asger Hebsgaard when the top guys pit. Still no sign of the pit lane for something the top 13 at the moment, so still plenty of position to sort out.
He'll be kicking himself for that. He'd been made the move he needed to make, and it was on someone that we've seen is notoriously difficult to pass today. Evan Imre has been playing very much the defensive drive today and has been doing very well as well. They had little mistakes, and it wasn't like he didn't get on the grass, did you notice? There was nothing like that, I assume. It was just a lock up, and the rear decided to overtake the front.
Looks like Hebsgaard's got some company.
Oh, has he got Mike? Mike's been steadily reeling him in then.
Yeah, there's a few tenths here and there, but he has managed to close in to keep the Ferrari company. Norm and Gadamer just long gone. 15 seconds between Hebsgaard and Gadamer, and a further 10 from Gadamer to Norm. So, again, probably not likely to see them for a while. And what's happened to Joris Thielen as he continued? Yes, he has. That is... Who's that he's chasing? It is... No... That. Why do you keep showing me the I'm trying to see who that is further down the road. Oh, it's Christensen. Every time I tried to see who that was, he kept showing me the safety car. Soren Krutz brings his Ferrari in for his stop then. I wouldn't be actually surprised if we start seeing quite a few people doing the same at this stage.
Yeah, there's going to be people coming in pretty soon. We've only got just over 20 minutes to go. About 13 laps remain. They're going to be, if they're not deliberately pitting now, they're going to be going for the rarest zero stop, but I don't think it's going to happen. There's going to be a few splash and dashes at the end.
I would imagine so, but we will see. Renault might try it. He's got plenty of lead to experiment with it. Oh, Dressler's hanging on to the back of Phil Reed fairly well, and Suominen a little bit off the back of that pack. Of course, that pack had... who was in that pack? I've forgotten. Lundgren?
Yep, Lundgren has pitted and has come out in 17th place. And he's got clear air in front of him as well, so this might actually work out for Lundgren, depending on how well he can keep up his lap times. I'm amazed by Dressler running the pace he is, considering that he has that massive dent on the front of his car. Oh, Phil Reed. Oh, I thought he was coming in the pits, and he did. Dan Blackwood now has 2 VEC Sim Racing cars for company. Gaillard and Godefroy putting huge pressure on him. But he seems to have been soaking up pretty well today so far.
Absolutely, the OCM Racing Ford has fended off the VEC champions pretty well for a very long time now. Isn't showing any sign. Go on.
Foku was very late on the brakes into turn 1 on Evan Imre. I thought there was going to be a bump, but there wasn't. It was very closely avoided though.
It's one of those kind of, clenching moments from the commentary.
That nose cam is dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
It makes things look so much closer than they really are.
Oh, Shepherd is taking another 10th out of Hebsgaard last time around, and he's now teetering on just getting under a second between himself and the newcomer Ferrari. So the battle for the podium is getting lively again. Dressler is still with Phil Reed. Godefroy and Gaillard still with Blackwood. It's one of these really kind of tense races that anything could happen at any given moment. Oh, Foku! What has happened to Flavio Foku? He got ahead of Evan Imre. Oh, a big impact between the two has sent Foku off into the dust.
Oh, I mean, I think I know who's to blame for that one. Yeah, it was very close, but Foku was carrying good speed on the outside. He left space on the inside, but then there was contact between the two. Incidents like that happen, I'm afraid. That is racing.
Shepherd is now half a second behind Hebsgaard, so I wonder if this might prompt Hebsgaard to come into the pits, as he seems to be losing some pace. Up there's those cones again. They've had a hell of a hard day, those guys.
They have, but they're very resilient and they can take a beating. Not that we're encouraging drivers to do such a thing, because it's mean, but if accidents happen,
Apex Online Racing does not condone cruelty to road codes.
Absolutely, and as the 6th place car of Sam Blackwood just destroys all of them going into turn 3.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, thanks for that. But yeah, the cones here are really well put together.
That does, it's keeping an eye on our various battles, of course. And now Shepherd and Hebsgaard add their name to the ever quarrelling cars that we've got in this race. It's going to be interesting to see. Well, Shepherd has been able to reel in Hebsgaard, as we have another lag moment there. But will he have the additional bit of pace to get past him? That's always the question. Catching is one thing, overtaking is another, as the great Murray Walker would say. Yeah,
absolutely, and that is an understated point. It is very easy, and we've seen it a bit today. It's easy to keep up, but actually trying to make the move, it can be proved quite difficult. We've also lost Marvin Sluman somewhere along the line. I'm just going to go back and see if I can find what happened to him.
Yeah, a couple of laps ago. A shame. What has happened? Oh! Irinam! He has actually had a problem!
Oh god, what's happened?
Oh, has he been through the pits and my... No, he's been through the pits. My overlay didn't show that he'd been through the pits. That's why I was like, ah! But no.
Can you not do that?
Sorry.
I will say, kind of depressingly for the rest of the field, Irinam has pitted. He took a 32-second pit stop from including that through the entire pit and has come out in 4th place. He's less than 2 seconds behind the Mike and Ebsgaard Asgard battle ahead, which is very close, but he's in the pound seats to see that right
now. 18
I thought
minutes
we missed it then. What happened?
I would Gaydemir. He would have had to have committed to it by now, but I wonder if would he go for the 0 stop?
I don't think his pace is bad enough for that to be happening. I will go on board and see if I can hear him lift on the coast.
Because we can't tell anything like sort of fuel amounts or tyre wear or anything like that from our position. But it'd be interesting to see if he would have to have committed to it a long time ago, I suspect.
Yes.
But
it's very much a thing. If you're going to do it, you go into the race like, I am going to 0 stop. This is what I need to do. This is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you don't make that kind of decision on the fly. You tend to put more pit stops in, not less, by and large, or certainly not less to none.
Oh, Mike Shepherd's in the pits from behind Mike from Asgard. Yep. Which I suspect might prompt a reaction from the now P2 car. Also, an incident update. We have a few that are getting dangerously close. Dominic Gaydemir up to 18 now. He's right on the edge, really. We've got Phil Reed on 17, Jeremy Hoppe on 17, Enon Marinsky 17, Sebastian Riefmuller, Matteo Salo Christensen. There's a few. So Cruz is on 18.
Phil Reed will not want to fall victim to that again.
No, he cruelly was disqualified on the last lap.
Last
corner, yeah. Phil Reed has pitted now, by the way.
He has, yep. I saw that one.
Interesting where he's going to come out compared to Joachim Lundgren, because they were in that fight. Lundgren's coming down the pit straight now. Phil is just going to be ahead of that little battle, but he is behind Merlin Cooper, Flavio Foku and Jeremy Hoppe, who have all yet to pit.
That's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Gaillard is still pressuring the tail of Sam Blackwood. That battle has not relinquished at all. It hasn't relented in the slightest. Godefroy is slowly but surely closing back in on them, but again, it's because the pace difference between each car seems to be quite slight. Whenever anyone's caught up with anybody, there just hasn't been that extra little bit. Dominic Gaydemer is in, so there went that idea. And there's Nick Domino, I think. Is he coming in or is he down? No, he's coming out, so there's somebody else behind them that I can't tell who that is.
Yeah, we've got plenty of people in now. We've got Stefan Kamke coming in. Asger Hebgard has come in. Dominic Gaydemer is in as well. I'm interested to see where Hebgard's going to come out.
Yes.
A few people, I assume, have run it right to the end. Christian Boychek staying out, though. He's going to not quite lead because of Aeronob.
Well, indeed. So that puts him in second.
Yuka Soda made a bit of a hash of the pit entry.
Oh dear. Not like Sarah Dove did, unfortunately.
No. Whereas Mike Sherpas, then he's going to be ahead of Asger Hebsgaard.
Yep.
That's worked out brilliantly.
Behind him is Thielen.
Yeah, I wonder, given that Asger is new to the league, whether he hasn't got a fuel calculator or something like this, because he was an extra 4 seconds in the pit stop alone, regardless of the lane. I don't know whether that might be a brain calculation that's gone a little off.
Suominen and Lundgren, that was close. As Jukka Suominen came out of the pits, he was very, very close to Joachim Lundgren's car as the Bushring Racing Ferrari had to do an outside manoeuvre, or ended up doing an outside manoeuvre coming through turn 1. That was a little close. And now the VEC pair, Gaillard and Godefroy, are close together, a little bit off the back of the Ford of Sam Blackwood. That is, I don't know who that is, Washington?
Godefroy! Oh, that was very well avoided from that. I want to see that again.
That was so close.
That might be one of those things that... what did he do? He just got it on the curb and I guess braked too late, and that's one of those things that either Gaillard just happened to look at the mirror at the perfect time, or they're in a voice call all together and it was, oh god, go wide! Go wide!
De Bruycheck is in. So in comes the Porsche. Gaillard is in. Godefroy is in. Probably for a change of underwear at that stage. That was so close. Reed is on the back of Foku. So most of the pit stops have now played out, or are playing out, the final ones. Foku hasn't been in, actually. So
no, but he's going to be in soon, I think. Probably this lap, if Phil gets his way. Yep, there he goes.
That's exactly what Reed would have wanted. So with several people in the pits.
Thielen and Christian Boychuk side by side going into turn 3. That's going to be Thielen making that position up into P5 overall. Been a brilliant recovery after what he's had to after that early pit stop.
Yeah. Oh, Foku, what's happened to you? You're in the pits, so that's nothing going on there.
We've also got a scrap from Magnus Wallström. He's bad at all of the fights today. Yes. He's got 10 seconds to the car ahead, but he's got Ina Marinsky, Saradov, and Evan Imre all pretty close behind him.
He does indeed. Chris Bell in the Porsche that's Merlin Cooper, who he's been fighting with for so very long. Then you've got right ahead of them, that's Flavian Foku post pit stop. Oh, how's this going to shape up? Oh, that could have been a problem for Bell if he'd been turned in on, but no, Merlin Cooper saw that one. That's back up to 20th for the AM leader. De Bruycheck still with Thielen, but I suspect Thielen is going to steadily pull away from Chris De Bruycheck. But still a very solid result as far as the overall is concerned, because he will still be deemed the winner of the Pro-Am, so he'll still score the same amount of points irrespective of which pros are around him. But gotta hand it to De Bruycheck. That's a very impressive performance.
Absolutely, and sometimes we see this of just somebody in a lower class just getting it absolutely right and putting on a pretty dominant performance. We saw it last with Knut Martinson at Daytona. I think he only finished a few seconds off the lead, but that was a very strategic race. But yeah, sometimes it happens, and it's great when unless you're all the competitors in that. But it's not. It's quite not.
Unfortunately, my PC is having a bit of a moment for some reason. It's stuttering like crazy. It seems to have stopped now. So apologies for that, stream side, as you kind of heard that all struggling to take place. Sarah Dove, Magnus Wallström through turn 1. Didn't quite shake down as much as Sarah would have liked, but it's a decent effort nonetheless. She's done quite well doing outside manoeuvres, but that is currently 16th then for the Ford. But continuing to pile the pressure on. Who else is there? De Bruyne and Tina. That gap is slowly increasing, and I suspect it will continue to do so for the remainder. Hasgard is not that far off the back of Sheppers. Will our 6th place new debutant be able to get back up into the 3rd position he held for so long? Has he got? Oh no, it's just the livery. I thought he had damage on the rear right there, but this is the way that the livery looked.
Oh!
Go on.
Philippe Gaillard has managed to get past Sam Black.
He has. I've just seen that.
Where's that? I'm going to go back and find it.
Please do. Phil Reed is still with Alexander Godefroy right behind that particular battle as well. So we have less than 10 minutes to go. There's going to be 5 laps left. It'll come up on the overlay. 5 laps remaining pretty soon. Where is our race leader? There he is, catching the back of, that is Nick Domino, and I believe that's Karen Van Eyck. Yep, it is. That's a battle for 24th overall between the 2 AM Porsches. They'll have to get out of the way of Iran, but they will of course want to carry on their battle as best they can.
Just an update, it was done through the pit stops.
Well, a decent strategy call there. But that is going to be Hasgard is falling off the back of Sheppers. A little bit of that gap is increasing, so it's going to take a mistake of some sort for Hasgard possibly to get back up into that 3rd position. But there's still laps to play out. There's still time for that to shake down. Well, that was Phil Reed at the top of the shot. They're getting very wide of the back of Alexander Godefroy.
And Phil Reed needs to be very careful. He's still on 18 instant points. Jeremy Hopper is on 19 now. In a battle with Flavio Blanco and Chris Bell. And Merlin Hooper not far behind either. He needs to be very careful. If he falls off the track once, if anyone touches him, he is out. That is it. You go to the bottom of the results table. You do not score any points. You're out.
And that's the way it's always been. That is the lay of the land. Like it or not. Dressler on the back of Blackwood now. That is very close between the reshaping Ferrari and the Ford. It's amazing, actually, the incident count is so high for so many people. That is slightly more unusual.
Yeah, this I can't honestly say that I know where the dangerous off tracks are, but there appear to be quite a lot. Some tracks are easier to pick them up than others. Sarah Dove, by the way, is very close to Magnus Wallström. She might have a go here. Ends turn 11. Magnus is already going defensive. She's going to have to go the long way around if she wants it, unless she throws it to the inside. Nope, she's come into the outside line.
Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Is she going to try and cut underneath the Ferrari? There she goes. Oh, no! Oh, no!
That's unfortunate.
Huge incident with the Ferrari. Nearly rolled over, slams into the wall under the bridge. Oh, no, not how Sarah Dove would have wanted to have taken that one. But that is what's happened, and that's a notification that's popped up on my screen. Didn't want that at all. Won't go away either. Where's my cursor? There it is. Go away, shoot. Right, back on with the job. What a shame for Sarah Dove. But,
what a shame for Magnus Wallström as well.
Yeah, well, very much so. Very, very much so. Such a strong performance. Has rather undone himself. That's not a happy looking Ferrari. At least he hasn't got too far to go. Go on.
Blackwood and Gaillard. Blackwood has clearly decided Gaillard is not getting away with it. He's very close.
No!
Dressler collects it as well. Oh no!
That's all kinds of havoc and chaos being caused in the closing stages. 5 laps to go. That was Dressler we just saw. And where did Gaillard go? There he is. He's back on the road. He's gone past Dressler. Blackwood And there he is. He's just slotted behind Suominen. Oh my goodness. Well, I was given a few positions to a few people, such as this battle. Godefroy and Phil Reed were right behind them when it all kicked off, but are carrying on nonetheless. Era Norm's actually lost some lead, I think. Unless my numbers are lying, he's lost. He has actually lost quite a bit of time.
I'll check his lap times to make sure nothing's.
No, my numbers are lying. I should have known that, really.
He's still pulling away. He's still pulling away.
If
not to insult Dominic Gamer anymore. Oh, Fabian Foku and Chris Bell very close.
As with Phil Reed and Alexander Godefroy, no, there's nothing going on there. Where are they? Where's Bell?
19th and 20th. Merlin Cooper trying to go around the outside. He's not going to make it work because we're looking wide. He's not going to be happy with that. That is with P2 in AM class with Chris Bell, the leader, who's led the entire way through, just ahead of him. He's going to be a little bit gutted by that.
Thielen is getting quite close to Habsgaard. That's for fourth. So, after he closed in on Hebsgaard early on, pitted very early, and now finds himself right behind the Ferrari again. A second separates them with 4 to go. That could well see Hebsgaard drop just one more position. It's still a stunning performance by a debutant, but it's a fair amount of pressure. His day is not done yet.
Absolutely not, and he's got a little bit of work to do because, remember, this was the pairing that had that little collision on the exit of turn 10 that cost Joris a few positions. Joris clearly has the pace. I mean, he qualified P2, so he's certainly got some work to do. But yeah, battle resumes for these.
Very much so indeed. So Omenden's got some company behind him. Blackwood with Gaillard. And then Dressler after his altercation earlier on. And some gas. Hoppe and Volstrom. That's where Volstrom ended up. In 17th position. And looking further down the field, there's Christensen in the Ford. In the middle of that great big pack of cars. Obviously he's having to do that a lot, which is a shame. He's having to jump out of the way of people.
Yeah,
one of our other
debutants,
Mr. Parsons, is in 26th position. What's his incident count? 11. So around about the halfway mark. So a steady first opening race for him.
Absolutely. I'm scared to look away for too. Oh, although Magnus Dahlstrom and Jeremy Hoppe very close, and Hoppe's got to be hoping a lot that Magnus doesn't make any mistakes and give him a little nudge, because if they do, they're both out.
Oh wow! But Godefroy and Reed have just swapped position. That's Phil Reed up to 7th, and Thielen is right behind Hebsgaard. That's 3 tenths to separate the Ferrari and the Porsche now, with 3 laps left on the clock. 2 laps left on the clock. The Porsche's got a decent run on the Ferrari. Is he going to make a move? That's coming down to turn 11. Not yet. But he's poised
trying to buy his time. Try and buy his time a little bit. We've seen it's quite easy to race around here. You can get switchbacks and cutbacks. Although Asgard with a little bit of an oversteer moment on the exit of the final corner might give Joris a run into turn 1. Nope, he's back. No, he's going to sit behind him for now.
But he hasn't got too much time. Oh, Blackwood, Dressler, side by side into turn 11. Oh, the Ferrari has made that one stick. Sam Blackwood into 13th. Oh, steady on. Gaillard, where's Gaillard? There he is in 11th now. So he's made a few positions. There's Marinsky. Is Marinsky high on the? Yeah, he's got 18 on the count. Hoppe, as you previously mentioned, on 19. Still got to be very careful, but only a couple of laps to go. But as we've mentioned before, we've seen that just completely undo itself in the closing stages. Godefroy is still with Phil Reed. There's battling still to resume. Then there's that 3-way battle. Dressler, Sam Blackwood, and Ina Marinsky. Oh, that is so ever so close.
Yeah, there's and Eno Marinsky's done a great job. He's had to pit twice, and he's still running 14th, running very competitively with some people pretty high up the grid. And I think I'm right in saying he has the 4th fastest lap of the race.
Nice.
Which is very good considering he's been recovering the whole way through. He got very close to Sam Blackwood there. They've both got to be careful. Eno more than Sam. Eno's on 18. If he touches anything, he's out.
Marinsky on the
outside. Gonna be brave. Not going to quite work there. He might have the run for turn into turn 10 though. If not, it's going to set him up beautifully for turn 11. Nope, he's committed now. He's going for it.
Why is Thielen in the pits? Thielen's out. Joris Thielen is out. What on earth has happened to you?
I'm going to go back, find out.
He may have been. I think he was in lag for me. I can't identify what happened to Joris Thielen. Oh
he's
dear.
left the session, whatever happened.
But he was in the pits, so whether he's had a big incident and ended up in the pits, or recovered to the pits, I'm afraid I don't know.
Oh no! He got a wobble through on the exit of turn 4. Clipped the grass on the inside slightly. It's pitched him off, and he ended up in the gravel. Although he didn't hit anything, he could have kept going. It's a shame to see him. He's abandoned. He's given up. He's left the session. That looks like a rage quit to me. He's so angry with himself after making a mistake so late in the race on the final lap. Although I think we've finished actually. No, we're on the final lap.
No, we're on the final lap. I know that's caught us out a few times, but we're actually going to lap 45 this time. But once again, the dominant performance has come down to this man, car number 178. It is Iridom who is victorious here at Motegi by quite a sizable gap. And well, what can you say to that? It's absolute 12.1 seconds is going to separate himself and this man, Dominic Gadimer, who chases home a couple of the Porsches. That's Nick Domino is one of them. He just chased home. Then is Mike Sheppers by a further 15 seconds. That third place held on so for a lot of the race by our debutant Hebsgaard. But there is Mike Sheppers to take the final podium position. There is Asger Hebgaard. A great effort for our newcomer. Then De Bruycheck is going to come across the line in 5th position. With Phil
win.
It is indeed the Pro-Am win for De Bruycheck. Here comes Phil Reed to take 4th in the Pro class after starting 21st to come home in 6th is very impressive indeed. So fair play to you. There is Alexander Godefroy, 2nd in the Pro-Ams, and it is Lundgren to come home in 8th overall. Suomen in 9, and there is Gaillard in very short order. Dreschler 11. Eno Marinsky for having been through the pits twice.
Oh no! We've had an incident further down. Magnus Wallström has just been disqualified after contact with Flavian Foucault, I think. Chris Bell and Merlin Cooper are fighting it out, just finishing towards the back for Pro-Am, first and second. Yeah, Magnus Wallström on the very last, 3 corners from the end.
This happened again.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get it in replay. I can't. Okay. It was just a very slight tap, but it's ended. Magnus Wallström and Flavian Foucault. Yeah, pretty disastrously is the fair way to say that.
Yeah, I don't think I can, unfortunately. No, it's in lag for me, unfortunately.
Damn it.
No, unfortunately I didn't get that, but wow, goodness. What an incredible race that was. Let's bring up the result screen. There it is. Once again, we have Irinome at the top of the board. Gainemer 2, Sheppers 3, Hebsgaard 4, De Bruycheck 5, excuse me, Phil Reed 6th, Godefroy 7, Lundgren 8, Suomen 9, Felipe Gaillard rounds out our top 10. Then it is Dressler, Marinsky, Blackwood, Imre, Dove, Hoppe, Bell, Cooper, Riethmüller, Wallström, Foku, Smith, Domino, Ike, Parsons, Washington, Cam K, Christensen, Thielen, Krutz, Sluman, Hitchcock, Parkinson, Toika, Gibbons, although a number of these didn't see the final, didn't see the checker flag, and then Williamson at the tail, who sadly did not start.
Nope, and just to clarify, your class winners, or class podiums, is so your Pro, obviously, is Aeronom, Dominic Gamer, and Mike Sherpas for Pro. Krista Brojcek, Alexander Godefroy, and Yuka Suominen for Pro. And for AM, it is Chris Bell, Merlin Cooper, and Sebastian Riesmuller.
Well played, everybody. And Iru Nom straight into the ready-to-interview box. Don't blame him at all. Let's get the interview music running. And we will chat to, once again, we'll talk to our race winner, a race dominator, I think it's fair to say. Hello, Erinom. Glad you could join us once again. Once again, another fairly pain-free race for you. How are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, it was pretty easy, especially in the start. I was afraid Porsches are faster, but just had some problem in the start. I think I went in the grass, so that's why I didn't get to start. So after that, it was just keeping the first place and expanding the gap.
Nicely done. Now, we did see a few people, particularly towards the end, sort of really struggle to keep their cars kind of good and true. So a few people struggled with the incident limit. Nothing you had a particular problem with. But there was quite a lot of battling going on. When you were coming through the field to put a lap on people, were you struggling at all, or were people quite kind to you to let you through?
No, I had no problem. Maybe one little moment with the traffic, but the rest was pretty good, so that's always here.
Excellent. Well, once again, thank you very much for joining us, Iru. Well done on another race victory, and we look forward to the next race in season.
Yeah, thanks, yeah.
Who's next, Mr. Stevie?
I think we'll get Stefan in.
Stefan Kamke. There he is. Hello, Stefan. How are you feeling?
Good evening. Exhausted.
Yeah, that looked very intense for a lot of the race.
Yeah, it did. Start didn't go to plan, and I was involved in 2 incidents in lap 2. I'm not entirely sure who's at fault. I have to watch it a few more times. Might have had the hand in at least one of them, so apologies there. And after that, it was damage limitation. Had a really good scrap with Ben, and then I managed to hold up Sebastian for a bit, and then I brought it home with short tires.
Oh, well done. So again, something we mentioned earlier was there was a lot of very big trains, a lot of sort of keeping position and keeping the pressure on. How was that sort of thing for your racing going on?
Really weird, because I'm quite used to driving alone.
Well, you have some
but
company.
Yeah, that's good, because that's the part of my racing, other than actually trying to go fast, that I really have to improve. So, good practice.
Excellent. Well done. And we will see you in the next one.
Yes, see ya.
Right, Stevie, one more, I think, and then we'll call it a day. And we have got Sarah Dove with us. Hello, Sarah. Thank you for joining us. How are you feeling after that one? You had some amazing outside corner moves going on, particularly.
Yeah. I suppose mixed would be the best description of it. I was about 10 positions away from where I should have been in quali, and then just got stuck behind everyone, and then my tires were all ruined, and it kind of fell apart from there.
It did look like you were really keeping the pressure on as much as you could, and you were involved in quite a few battles. Were you fairly confident on where you were going to place in this, ahead of the qualifying for this race, or just taking each corner as it came?
I didn't really know where I was going to be until qualifying happened. And then after, I was like, well, my optimal said I should have been there, but I wasn't. And so I was about 10 positions away, and then because of that, I couldn't keep up with people ahead. So the best I would have hoped for would have been 6, because I kind of felt I had the pace to overtake the big train in front of me, but I just I just didn't have the tires or the time or enough of a straight line. It's really hard to overtake here.
Well played with the battling you did, and we look forward to the season for the remaining races of the season.
Thank you.
And that's going to be it for this evening. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout this stream. A great pleasure to commentate for you guys. Thank you very much, Stevie, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. Always a great pleasure to have you with me, sir.
Thank you very much. I enjoy sitting here talking of these races with you. Coming up on the iRacing broadcast schedule in the coming days, on Friday we have F3. We have F3. I'm super confident. We have F3 for its penultimate round at Road America, and then next Monday we have round 7 of this league at Daytona International Speedway. And which I briefly mentioned earlier, last season was a tremendously strategic back. It was very clever, actually. It was good fun. So I expect a bit more of that. And then the following Friday, we have the penultimate round of the Formula Renault League at Virginia International Raceway. And King-Kodiak, I have a question for you now.
Please do.
This was your first broadcast at this racetrack. What did you think?
Well, quite interesting. I wasn't expecting the big conga lines, the big groups that we had. Certainly not for as long as we had them for. I was a bit surprised by that, because there are a few instances of high speed, long straight, slow, relatively corner. So I was kind of expecting a bit more overtaking, but I was certainly not disappointed by the show that our drivers put on.
Good to know.
Right, and that's going to wrap it up for this evening. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Do come back to us for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.